Very, very bad, but it's like an accumulated learning gaps that were not filled over time that affected your employer from paying you the salary. According to Udemy report in this 2025 skill gap. So it is urgent. We have to do something about it. And when I was preparing, I prayed to God, our Lord, let there be something that will steer people up today. That when you go home, you might not like me, but there will be something that will not make you rest. That I just have to create something. Even if you can't do it, those children that are doing something at home, you support them to create. Even just to learn how to bake bread, and then you share with your neighbor, and next time you sell to them at a subsidized amount. Just to create something. And you try to make it times 2 every year. In 5 years, it becomes a big bakery. Just to create something. You know, we talk about training, we talk about accelerating our skills, yet we still use the inefficient, traditional way of learning. We all know those traditional ways of learning. Certificates, grades, and that's all. And also sometimes when we learn, we find it difficult to practicalize our knowledge, to validate them, even if the employer say, go and learn something and come back. Sometimes we might not have a safe environment that trusts us to practicalize what we have learned. So it's still going to result in the gap in the skills. 50% of the employees, as reported by the World Economic Forum, that this year, 50% of all of us that were working here need to be skilled again. We need to be skilled again. And it was said in 2020, before AI came to full swing, artificial intelligence has been there since 1955, and it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes, but it has come to stay. Do you know why? The generative AI has the power. Any deity, entity, any institution that has the power to create will stand the test of time. So, if in 2020, the World Economic Forum said 50% of all of us needs to be retrained again. Now we have AI. How many of us? Many of us here, we can actually describe how to do so many things. When you hear manifestos of politicians, they will describe so many things. We do this, but having that capability to actually bring it to life, most times is missing. So we need to go back to that capability. And it is through what? Project-based learning. Everybody, project-based learning. Some people are not here. Again, we live in a world that is governed by projects. This conference is a project. The clothes that I put on when they were making it, it was a project. The food you want to eat this evening, project. At the place of work, you want to run a business campaign, project. Feedback for this conference, project. Everything, project. Just like the way we saw creation of toys as project. Project-based learning. You know, when I was in the university, I read computer science, and for 4 years, we never went to lab. No coding, nothing. In fact, when I was in 3rd year, I took a course called database. And even before then, I've been using database to build so many software. And I had D in that course because the lecturer asked me, design a database that will do this. He was expecting me to write a table. And I wrote SQL, and he gave me D. And that SQL, if you actually type it into SQL machine, it will run. But I got a D. But I kept on building projects. I'll tell you a little bit of my story towards the end. But what I mean by project-based learning is that when you are learning something, begin to create something out of it, even before you understand everything. That is project-based learning. You can actually use project-based learning from kindergarten all the way to PhD. So that at the end of the day, let's even say primary 4, a child in primary 4 is learning using project-based learning. In 1 year, 1 project. 5, 1 project. 6, 1 project. By the time the child is going to GSS classes, 3 projects already. Let's say project-based learning all through senior secondary schools. That is 6. Before the guy will go into the university, there are how many projects? 8 projects already. Now going into the university, you see a lot. And when project-based learning is now adopted in our universities, there won't be a situation of copying thesis. Like you just drop another person's work to just pass 400 level and then you enter the labor market. Exam malpractice will even just die naturally because it is not just going to be based on grade, it will be based on what you can do. National curriculum is beautiful, but the way it's being delivered is just write notes. Just write notes and then pour it back. I had a lot of E in my 100 level because I would want to write things back the way I've understood it. And my lecturer didn't like it. So it was one of our, said, don't do that again. Just give them the same way they gave to you. And I started having A. So when I discovered, I said, hey, that is it, no problem. And I kept on giving them. So project-based learning is about connecting the dots when you are learning and then creating something out of it. There's no way you get to an examination hall and then they will ask you to describe something and it won't be from your own personal experience of that thing that you have created. And we need to, I know government officials might be listening. We need to change how we admit students into the universities and tertiary schools. It shouldn't just be grades alone. WAEC is good, UTME is good in quotes, no problem. But there should be addition to that. Throughout the secondary school, let the child bring out a project that he or she has done, present it, score it, make the score to be 50-50 in an interview, and then use that to admit. So that it won't just be a situation of just have 200, I know the admission officer, and then you enter the university. We won't help the nation that way. What I'm saying today, they are not here. They might not be hearing me. Some of them are hearing me, but they still want to continue the status quo. But what I want to do today is that let heaven bear me witness. I said my own. This is the 14th year I've been building software in education. We have clients in 11 countries. We have touched the life of over 700,000. I said my own. So, project-based learning can build problem-solving skill by 30%. Just use your hand to create something out of what you are learning. Somebody might be thinking that, you are just talking about STEM skill. I'm not even saying STEM alone. I am saying even if you are in the arts class and you are learning conflict resolution, sit down and build a project and create a simulation of how you can solve conflict in South Sudan or something and present it to your lecturer and present it to your family to say, I have a way in which you can solve this problem. That's a project. You understand? You have to do something about what you're learning. The moment you can't do something about what you are learning, you forget. Because according to Dr. Carl, he wrote a book. He said, how learning happens. He said, learning happens when you are able to connect the priority knowledge to what you are doing right now and then connect the two together. And how you can connect the two together, that is not just going to happen here, but will happen here and here, is project-based learning. I think I can say I'm qualified as a teacher today. I'll give you homework. Go back to your organization. Maybe if you have clients, if you work in the customer service department, or if you don't work there, if you're an engineer, just reach out to your colleagues that have data on customer complaints in the last 2 weeks. Read those complaints and then do research on how you can avoid them. Go back to your line manager, make a presentation on how you can avoid them. If he takes it, fine. If he doesn't take it, fine. You've done something. How many of you would do that? Thank you. You do it. You do it. Thank you. Any other person? 3 people. 4, 5. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is project-based learning. You are learning, you still don't figure it out yet, but you are doing something about it. Then the second thing is supercharge organization growth with AI. Don't worry, I won't talk about co-pilot and all those stuff and how people use it to cheat in the university and all those stuff. No. What I want to talk about is that AI has reduced the cost for training by 40%. And is going to improve your productivity by 35%. 40% in training, because you don't even need to know everything, because knowledge has expanded. You can go to make a car, and believe me, there's one called Grok. It will even write for you, you'll be tired, and you will even say, stop. It's there. But what we need to do now is, how can we be productive with the knowledge that is available? How can we be productive? And that is according to Harvard Business Review. I didn't write it in 2022. That 35% cost. 35% opportunity, saving time for training, and also productivity, 35%. In 2018, I was invited to, win an award in Switzerland, and also I was invited to speak at this. Don't ask them what GPT can do for them. Ask them what, even in Christianity, the epignosis, experience of God, what they have experienced in what you have taught them, and let them put it down in their own way. Homework number 2. I know some students are not good students here. Homework number 2. Think about your last, blocker, bottleneck you have at place of work. Different places of work, we have bottlenecks. You run a campaign, it's not working. You want to ship a product, it's not coming out. You promise a client, you are not meeting up with that. It keep recurring. Think about those bottlenecks, and then go to GPT and ask questions on how you can fix those bottlenecks. You'll be shocked the kind of responses you get. Sometimes I will use AI, and my wife will say, Timeji, you're not using your brain again. I say, yeah, I'm using my brain actually, because I'm creating the right prompts and professional growth, okay? So, if you want to grow professionally, you solve problems. Am I right, sir? You solve problems. If you want to be promoted, you solve problems. You solve problems. You shine your lights. So now, the next one is pilot AI and use it to do something about those challenges you have, and adopt project-based learning. So you need to encourage every employer or your colleagues to engage those problems. One of the things that I was just thinking when I was praying, that you don't even need to do too much of thinking about this thing. As I'm AI to actually create over 100 turbine designs within 1 hour. Something that would take several engineers to do in several weeks. So they design hundreds of those variations within 1 hour. So that's the case study here. And if it's helping a company that is that complex, so what are you doing in your own business that is that complex that AI cannot help you? All you need to do is to reach out to the right partner, ask the right question, and then you get the right support that you need. Case study number 2. In Enugu State, one of our clients in the public sector is Enugu State. When I met the governor in 2023, he told us that he wants to grow the GDP of the state, and he wants to do that through education. He wants to grow the skill, and he wanted to use experiential learning, which is a form of project-based learning. So we looked at the curriculum for them, and then we built artificial intelligence machine to use 12 different styles of teaching to support the teacher. So that if you want to teach in basic science, any topic in basic, any subject in basic science, any topic, energy, you want to teach energy, GSS1 basic science, you can actually teach the students in your class using 12 different styles, using AI. We built it for them. And they are scaling that service all across the 260 smart schools in the states. So watch out for Enugu State. The first state to adopt artificial intelligence in education. And Anambra has started. We are launching Anambra next week. So talk to your governor.
who partners with clients to drive talent and business transformation, recognizing that what led individuals and organizations to success in the past will not necessarily take them forward. Yemi is also an author and is known for his passion for work. He proudly declares that he loves Mondays. Make welcome to REINVENT Conference 2025, Yemi Fashion.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you to the organizers. Pastor, thank you for inviting me. Like, madam, I didn't know about this assembly until a digital friend of mine, I'll say, I just know, I knew him through IG, mentioned the conference to me. Sincerely, I can't remember his name right now. And he said that you would love for me to speak at this conference. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? Let's do it. I know that I'm the one keeping you from going home. So I'll try and save some time. I'm even tempted to say maybe what I should do is to just summarize what Doctor has said, what Mrs. has said, and then Dimeji, and share the grace. What do you think? All right, so let me try and run through my conversations this evening. But I'd love to say 4 things quickly, because we are talking of career advancement. The first thing I'd love to say is that dream jobs are everywhere, but we're looking for dream employees. The tables have started shaking, right? Yeah. I said about 3-4 years ago that I've retired from shaking tables, but I'm still